One of the biggest things that hurt a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs is that we have an issue of keeping our personal finances separate from our business finances. How's it going? This is Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Listen, I want to go over 5 personal finance mistakes that kill small businesses. The first one being letting your credit score slip. A lot of times people are always asking that are entrepreneurs, how can I get loans in regards, for my business and keep it separate? One of the things people don't understand, especially when you're trying to get major lending from a business perspective, they want to have a personal guarantor that's an individual, typically having a credit score over 700. Now, if your focus is getting a loan for the business separate, which is possible, but again, that most of the time lenders are going to want to have some kind of personal guarantor. If you get a loan from a reputable company, or it's one of the initial loans that you're getting, that personal credit score of yours slipping can adversely affect you getting any kind of funding or lending for your particular business. Okay, so you got to make sure you stay on top of watching your personal credit score. The second thing is carrying too high interest debt. Okay, one of the things that people don't be aware of is that you're paying by you paying so much in interest. I'm talking about anything over 10% from a credit card standpoint, or even just a loan. You'll end up paying so much in the grand scheme of things. The interest payments, you won't be doing anything for us, affecting the principal of the loan. And I always recommend make it like a quarterly, or at least I'm sorry, a bi-yearly practice of calling your creditors, especially credit card companies, and asking, hey, can I get a rate adjustment? Can we do some kind of something different to the terms? Banks and credit card companies are always running different promotions and different kind of programs that you can take advantage of, where they'll actually, move your debt over to a 0% program for a year and a half. You pay so much of it off. But always be very proactive to find different ways that you can reduce paying all that high interest debt. The third thing is not building an emergency fund. I tell people all the time, make sure that you have at least 6 months of living expenses or even business operational expenses set to the side. You got to be able to do that. And the way that can hurt your small business is that if your personal side, you don't have that emergency fund set up, once things start going left in your personal life, what are you doing now? Pulling the money from the business account, the business funds. That's not going to be beneficial to that, because the business is just like an individual all by itself. So if things are going bad on your personal side and you pull in from the business, both of you guys are going to fail. So make sure you be very proactive to build that emergency fund for you personally, but also make sure you're doing it for your business, okay? Because what we don't want to have happen is one or the other adversely affecting each other, where we have to do something that's going to correct something here, pulling from here, and next thing you know, both of the ships are sinking, okay? So make sure you build that emergency fund for both. The fourth thing is failing to keep separate accounts. Listen, this is one of the most important things I try to tell my clients that come to me, is that do not commingle the accounts. We want to have a separate, what you do in your personal life and what you have is totally separate from your business, okay? We want to have separate checking, saving, credit cards, everything separate, dealing with the business from your personal side, okay? Because you can have things going on in your personal life that you don't want to have affect nothing going on with the business, and vice versa, to be totally honest with you. And by even doing things from a personal perspective into your business account, you diminish that whole protection of liability. Whereas now, because you're showing that, hey, the company is not something separate, when people want, just say if you get in a situation, God forbid, you get sued, you have some kind of thing adversely happening, they can go to your personal side. Why? Because you've been commingling and interacting the accounts together, okay? So make sure you keep everything separate, okay? And last is, far too often, by not taking it serious on the personal side, we allow accounts to go into collections, okay? I understand. I forgot all about that. That was years ago. I didn't even know that was happening. You got to make it proactive. Again, like I tell everybody, make sure you're getting, there's too many free credit monitoring services that are out here today that anybody can take advantage of. I think most banks and credit cards give it to you free. You also, depending on what state it is, you're just making a common practice to just review your credit report twice a year. Make it a common practice to do it in at least twice a year, monitoring your credit report, okay? Because, again, now you done got this stuff going in collections. You want to sit here and try to get an expansion loan or even a loan for your business, period. And again, we'll go back to that personal guarantor that most of these lenders are going to want. And this stuff is jacked up on your personal side. You can't take advantage of it for your business. So we want to make sure we got all that stuff as far as anything going to collections, anything that could, again, adversely affect the growth and the financial welfare of your business is not going to happen and everything from your personal side, okay? Again, I hope those things helped you, though. Again, those 5 personal finance mistakes that can kill your small business.